During my recent visit to Walt Disney World, I ate in a whopping 34 restaurants, and today I'm going to rank the 10 table service restaurants I ate in. I've already ranked the breakfast, buffets and character dining meals, plus the quick service restaurants that I ate in, so I will put the links to those videos down below. I was one of these unfortunate people that had 2 years of trips cancelled because of you know what. So I had been planning my dining for many years, and because of this I had a lot of time to research, and I'd already picked out the best rated restaurants to eat in. My last visit before this one was in 2018 and the food had improved massively. So I'm hoping this ranking will help you see what the food is like, what these restaurants are like, and maybe help you decide which table service restaurants you'd like to book reservations for when you visit Disney World. My name is Sophie from Most Magical Guides, and I make videos all about how to plan trips to Disney World and Disneyland Paris, plus do vlogs of my own solo and adult trips. So if you do like this type of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. I am a Disney vegan, so all of the food I ate were the plant-based options. They're super easy to identify on the menu because they have the little leaf symbols. Whenever you see that, the food is vegan. When researching where to eat, there are a few vegan Disney channels that were super helpful to me, so I want to give a big shout out to Princess and the Bear, Vegan Disney Food and Vegan Disney World, and I will put a link to their channels in the description down below so you can go check out their awesome reviews yourself. So let's dive into my rankings of the 10 table service restaurants I ate in at Walt Disney World. So at number 1, and my favourite table service restaurant I ate in at Disney World, was Tiffins Restaurant in Animal Kingdom. I would say that Tiffins is a hidden gem restaurant. Typically when people go to Animal Kingdom they try and get reservations for Yak and Yeti, but I personally would say that Tiffins is significantly better. The food here was unbelievably good. I started off my meal with a tinga taco. It was the best taco I've ever had. All of the flavours were amazing. They were super fresh, bursting with flavour, little bit of spice, which was very nice, and I could have had about 15 more. They were incredible. So to start with, I have the plant-based tinga tacos. Don't really know what tinga is. Very excited to try these. They smell absolutely incredible, so let's dive in. The tacos are incredible. There's a little tiny bit of spice, which is delicious, and all of the other flavours are super fresh. So if you are vegan coming here, definitely don't skip on these because they're amazing. I then had the North African spiced tofu dish, and again I was blown away. Loads of amazing flavours. Like if you are looking for something where your mouth is just like, oh, come to Tiffins because the food is incredible. There is so many vegetables and greens on here and it smells incredible, so I'm very excited to try it. Something I really liked about the tofu dish is it was packed full of vegetables. This dish was a kind of whole foods meal, and I really enjoyed that. When you were eating it, you were just thinking, this is so good for me and so delicious, and it's the best combination ever. When visiting a theme park, typically the food you expect is pizzas, burgers, processed food, so it was really nice to have foods that were just not processed, packed full of veggies and super delicious. Something that I didn't realise about Tiffins but blew me out of the water was that it's actually an art gallery as well as a restaurant. There are 3 different dining rooms, each with a different theme, and all of them contain artwork and artefacts from the different destinations the Disney Imagineers visited when they were going to find out and research about these locations so they could build Animal Kingdom Park. So in Tiffins there are 3 main rooms, and each of them are designed on a different country of the park, and they have the artwork and inspiration that Joe Rohde and the Imagineers had for Animal Kingdom. So I'm going to have a look around. It's so exciting seeing all of this. This room here is the main gallery, and the totem poles in the middle were actually the inspiration for the Tree of Life, and they were all hand carved in Bali. It's absolutely incredible. You've got more carvings. One of my all-time favourite Disney Imagineers is Joe Rohde, who led the design of this park, and to see his actual sketches in his own sketchbooks blew me away. If you are looking for amazing flavours, great quality ingredients and interesting dishes, then make sure you come to Tiffins. It is outstanding. I will definitely be visiting there again next time I'm in Animal Kingdom, and I cannot rave about this restaurant enough. It was incredible. So I have just finished my meal at Tiffins. It was outstanding. It was so good. If you are looking for loads and loads of veggies, for whole foods, no foam meat, just super tasty, great food, then come to Tiffins. Both the courses I had were absolutely incredible, packed full of vegetables, just amazing flavours. Nothing was like super spicy. There was a little bit of spice to the taco, but it was like the perfect amount, and it's so good. And also, if you're a fan of Joe Rohde or the Imagineers that built this park, definitely go inside, because you get to see their notebooks, their hand drawings of things they saw when they went to Asia and Africa and the regions that they took as inspiration for this park. So if you're a fan, definitely go in here, because you get to go and see all of these amazing galleries, the artwork, the artifacts. Is absolutely incredible. Number 2 is Sebastian's restaurant at Caribbean Beach Resort. I had heard so many great things about Sebastian's that it was one of the restaurants that I was so desperate to get a reservation for. The food here is served family style, so you get a salad. Oh, hello. The food at Sebastian's is served family style, so you get platters brought to the table and everyone eats off of that. As a solo traveller, I was just given platters for myself. It's interesting that I'm here solo, but I feel like they're giving you portions for like, still the family style portions. So I'm gonna bring it in. To start off, you get some dinner rolls with guava, butter and onion jam. It was unreal. Okay, so first I'm going to try the bread with the guava jam. That is so good. It's got like a really nice sweetness to it. Really tasty. I'm going to do some of the guava, butter and jam together. I love onion jam. I think it's going to be so good both at the same time. That is unreal. So good. Everyone talks about how amazing the guava butter was, and it had a really nice sweetness to it. The onion jam was super delicious. I couldn't get over it. First up was a salad, and I cannot tell you how incredible this salad was. The dressing was next level. This is probably the best salad I've ever had in my life. I couldn't get over it, and the problem was I couldn't stop eating it, and I was like, don't get full on the salad. Like, it was so delicious. So my salad has arrived. It looks incredible. It has like a key lime dressing and some pineapple on it. The lime dressing on the salad is so zingy. It's really, really good. You also get pumpkin seeds, you get the pineapple on top, loads and loads of fresh leaves. Like, it's so good. The food has been amazing so far. I've got to remember that this is kind of a 4-course meal, so to not go mad, because there's a lot of food to eat tonight. For the main course, you get a variety of different dishes. I had a jerk spiced tofu, there was a kebab, there was a sausage, a curry, there was some amazing cilantro rice, and also some broccolini. So my main courses have come out, and honestly guys, I've never seen so much food. So I'm going to tuck in to all the food. I don't know what I'm going to do guys, because I'm going to have a little bit of each. So the sausage is the same sausage I've been having at Disney. It's so good. I will never get bored of eating it. It's the same. I'm going to try the tofu now. That is really crispy on the outside, which is so nice. And it has a really nice flavour. It's not like spicy, like jerk. You would expect it to be super spicy. But it definitely has the hint of the jerk seasoning, but it's not super spicy. So that is really good. Try some kebab next, or kebab. I don't know why it's called kebab here, but here we go. Oh, that's really flavourful. It tastes almost like if you were to have a kebab skewer. It tastes exactly the same as that. Very tasty. I'm going to try some of the curry and the cilantro rice. That's a really good tomato based curry. It's got like warming spices, it's not spicy. lots, packed full of vegetables, lots and lots of different vegetables. Very, very tasty. Oh my god. I love coriander, so this cilantro rice is so good. It's really, really tasty. I could eat that on its own. Everything is super excellent. Come hungry because you get an absolute feast at Sebastian's. There is so much food to enjoy. Sebastian's is one of the cheapest table service restaurants at Disney World, and it's unbelievable. The amount of food you get, the quality of food you get, the amazing service. I have to point out, this meal is $29. It is unbelievably cheap for Disney, and the amount of food you get, and remember you can order more of what you like, it is unreal. Everything tasted really, really great. The cilantro rice was next level. There was loads of vegetables packed inside the curry, and then the faux meats, really delicious, really flavourful, and the tofu was not super spicy. With it being jerk, I was expecting something super, super hot, which it wasn't, but it was still cooked very nicely and had great flavour. And as delicious as everything has been up until this point, you need to save space because the best part of this meal is the dessert. Sebastian serves the famous coconut pineapple bread pudding dessert, and honestly, it is incredible. It's one of the best desserts I have ever had in my life. Now, sadly for me, I was so excited about all the other food, I only managed to have one bite, and it's something I regret to this day. Guys, the dessert has arrived, and it's a pineapple coconut bread pudding. It looks incredible. The sauce smells amazing. It also comes with tofu ice cream. Oh god. Bon appetit. Oh my god. Ridiculous. God, this is unbelievable. It is so soft. It is so delicious. You get chunks of pineapple in it. The sauce is like the right level of sweetness. It's warm. It's incredible. This is unreal. This is the best dessert I've had since I've been here. Ridiculous. Whatever you have to do, try and get a reservation for Sebastian's. I cannot overemphasize how amazing the food is, how every single dish is great. It's not like the starter's okay, but the main's incredible. Literally everything was amazing, and for the price, it cannot be beaten. Something that I really like about Sebastian's, which I think is quite interesting, is that the plant-based menu and the main menu are exactly the same. It's just they change to plant-based ingredients for the plant-based option. Typically, if you go to a restaurant, the plant-based options are always slightly different. It's its own meal in itself, but this is the only restaurant where everyone dining has the same food. It's just changed to their dietary needs. Coming in at number 3 is Sanaa at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Again, this is a super highly recommended restaurant and for very good reason. If you love Indian food like me, make sure you stop by Sanaa because the food here is next level. The dish Sanaa is most famous for is the bread service, and they do have a vegan option, so I had to go and get that. The bread service is made up of 4 breads. If you order the vegan option, they will be gluten-free, and 9 dips, which range from spicy to savoury to sweet. Originally, only 8 out of the 9 dips were vegan, but they have now made a vegan writer, so you can try all 9 dips. The flavour of these dips were unreal. They are so good. All of them I really enjoyed. There were none that I didn't like, and what was really nice is kind of mixing and matching the ones you liked or thought would go together the most, and you'd get whole new levels of flavours. It was absolutely incredible. It's finally happening. The bread service is here. It looks amazing. The naan is both dairy-free and gluten-free. Oh, there's a crane running in the background. I love this. The window is amazing. But yeah, so it's dairy-free and gluten-free, and then you have the 9 dips. Now the question is, which way do you go? Do you start spicy and work your way down? Do you work your way up? I feel like I'm going to try the spicy first to see how spicy the spicy is. Let's go. Okay, so this is the spiciest one. Let's try. That's really good. I wouldn't say that's particularly spicy. It's one that builds up. But if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I want to avoid the spicy ones because it might blow my head off. First dip, the little amount I had seemed okay. Let's do the second one. Oh my god. Okay, that one's hot. The flavours are unreal. It does have heat. I would say it's probably a 5 out of 10. So it's not gonna, like, you're gonna go, oh, I can't cope. So it's got like a nice heat, like, build of heat. That's so tasty. Oh my gosh. When everyone says the bread service is the best thing ever, they're not lying. This is a coriander chutney. I remember this one because it's green. I personally love coriander, so that is everything. So tasty. This is absolutely a must get. It's so good. Oh, that's really good. I'm going to try the whiter now, and it's so exciting because I just did not think I would be able to have this. But the fact that they do a vegan one now is amazing. It's so good. Everything's so good. It's unbelievable. Thank you. Thank you. That is exactly what you want a whiter to do. It's nice and cooling, and then you get the cucumber, which is super refreshing. Oh, I'm obsessed with this. This is so good, guys. Like, all of these dips so far have been incredible. Like, when people talk about the bread service being the best thing ever, they're not lying. Like, this is amazing. The bread service is a big portion. It's typically served as a starter, so you could easily share it between 2, 3, maybe even 4 people. Because I was solo, I went to Sanaa just for the bread service and had that as my meal, and it was delicious. Because I was also staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge as part of my trip, I went back to Sanaa for a second time, and there I had the pochi. I had the harvest pochi, which is the vegan version. When you order this, there are 4 different options to choose from, and you can pick 2 out of the 4 to enjoy. Again, the flavours for these were really great. You could taste a lot of the spices, but neither of them was super spicy. So if you aren't a fan of spicy hot food, you would be fine with these. Just let your server know, and then they can recommend which dishes are milder, and then they'll be the ones that will be great for you to order. But the flavours were really rich and deep, and if you love Indian food, you're going to really like Sanaa. And I love that you get 3 bowls, so it kind of looks like a Mickey, which is perfect. So let's try the chickpeas first. That's really good. It's got like a really deep, rich curry flavour, tomato based, but not super spicy. Like exactly what you want out of a curry. And let's try the lentils. They're not lentils, that's a lie, they're collard green. Again, super tasty. I feel like you can't go wrong with whatever you order here. Everything tastes so good. I love Indian food. To be able to have really good Indian food in Disney is epic. The setting of Sanaa is also incredible and one of the most amazing ones at Disney World. Here you have large windows all around the restaurant that look out over onto the savannah, where you can see animals such as zebras and giraffes. Even though Sanaa is in a hotel, if you're visiting Animal Kingdom Park for the day, you can easily get a 5-minute bus journey to Animal Kingdom Lodge and dine at this restaurant. My number 4 pick is Jungle Navigation Skipper's Canteen in Magic Kingdom. This was another reservation that I was desperate to get, and I actually think again this is another hidden gem restaurant. When people head to Magic Kingdom, they tend to go for restaurants such as Be Our Guest, so they could go into the incredible ballroom that you see in Beauty and the Beast, or maybe Cinderella's Royal Table where they dine inside the castle. But don't sleep on Jungle Navigation Skipper's Canteen because it actually serves incredible food. If you're a fan of Asian cuisine, then you will love this restaurant. I ordered the curried crew stew and it was delicious. Again, it was a curry that was packed full of vegetables, lots of flavour but not spicy hot. So I have ordered the curried vegetable crew stew. It's just arrived and it smells incredible. It's like a really nice curry, not spicy but very flavourful. It's also got coriander, which I love, but I know people don't like that, but that is on top so you can get rid of it if you don't want. I'm really curious about this tofu, so let's try that. I like that it's kind of crispy on the outside, which is really good. but I really love all these flavours. There's also lots of veg. You get cauliflower, green beans, peppers, courgettes, which is really nice. But yeah, it's just a really good meal. Really, really tasty, really, really flavourful. I love that it's packed full of vegetables, so if you are looking for something without faux meat, this is a really, really good option. If you do want something spicy, then order the Dan noodles. These are quite spicy, so just be aware, but you can make them vegan on request, so just talk to your server about that. I have to also talk about the rice here. It was unbelievably good, and I don't understand, because rice is normally one of those staple things. It's great, it goes with a lot of things, but this was so elevated. I could have just eaten the rice on its own. The tofu was also really nice. I love that it was crisp on the outside and soft on the inside. So everything about this dish was amazing. I did know that this was a Jungle Cruise themed restaurant, so I was so excited to see the decor, but what I didn't realise is that all of the cast members there also tell the same famous iconic dad jokes that you get on Jungle Cruise. I had the most fun at this restaurant because of this. Like, I had such a laugh. My server was absolutely incredible. The jokes kept coming. We were doing lots of banter back and forth, and I could not have had a better time. If you were looking for somewhere to eat in Magic Kingdom where you were going to have delicious food and a lot of fun, then make sure you get a reservation for Jungle Navigation Skipper's Canteen. At number 5 is Sci-Fi Dine-In Theatre in Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios is famous for not having very many table service restaurants to choose from. Sci-Fi Dine-In Theatre is really popular for the super cool setting. It is set up like a 1950s drive-in cinema, so they have really cool little cars that you sit in. They have a really massive projector screen where they show kind of sci-fi and trailers for sci-fi films from that era. It is always dark in there because it's supposed to be like a cinema, and of course you need to be in the dark to watch the cinema, so it just really has an amazing atmosphere and you really do feel like you're in a drive-in theatre. I really did think that this restaurant was going to be style over substance. I thought the setting's going to be amazing, but the food will probably be average, but I was pleasantly surprised. I started off my meal with a spinach and artichoke dip with cashew cheese. It also had house-made chips. I've never actually had this before, but I'd heard rave reviews about it and it was so good. It was really, really creamy. The crunch of the crisps, but with the really creamy sauce, was perfect, and it was a really amazing starter. So I've just finished my starter. It was really good. The dip was really, really creamy, and the house-made chips were amazing. But that was very nice. I've never had spinach and artichoke dip before, so I didn't know what to expect. It was very good. It was a massive portion though, so for one person it was definitely too much. For my main course I had the flying saucer burger. Again, I was expecting just a bog standard burger, but this was slightly elevated because you had things like pesto, you had a portobello mushroom, all things like this inside, and it was really, really delicious. I liked that it was kind of packed full of toppings and it wasn't just a bit of vegan cheese. They really did think about how to elevate this burger. And the fries were also super, super tasty. So if you were looking for like a classic American dish that's a bit elevated, this is a really good option. Sci-Fi Dining Theatre also does a vegan cookie shake. Now, unfortunately for me, I did not have any room. I could not try this, but if you were looking for a vegan milkshake, then this is the place to come. I would definitely say if you are looking for a table service restaurant in Hollywood Studios, then this is a really, really good option. Reservations do go fast because there aren't so many options to choose from, so definitely on that 60-day mark, get a reservation for this if you do want to go there. My number 6 pick is Jiko at Animal Kingdom Lodge. As I mentioned earlier, I did stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge, so I actually dined in all of the restaurants at this hotel. Jiko is a table service restaurant that's only open for dinner, and the food here is African and it is amazing. It's a very elegant restaurant. It is probably more aimed towards adults simply because of the type of cuisine and the setting, but it's a great place for a date night or for friends to go or for solo travelers like me. They also have a huge, huge selection of African wines, so if you are a big fan of wine, do come here because there is plenty to choose from. I was very, very lucky that when I arrived, I was actually sat at the chef's table, so I got to see them preparing food right in front of me and also speak to them during my whole meal, and this was something that really stood out. I have never experienced this before and I had the best time speaking to my chefs. I'm actually really lucky because I am sat kind of at the chef's table. So right in front of me, they are preparing the food, and also you get to have really nice chats with the chef. I've been talking to Melissa, and she's been so helpful and knowledgeable and so interesting to talk to. It's a really, really beautiful restaurant, and all the servers have so much knowledge about all of the food and drinks. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an amazing meal. Something that was really nice as well is there are multiple seats at the chef's table. So throughout the evening, more couples were sat next to me, and I got to chat to them, and it was just a really, really nice social evening with great food and great conversation. I ordered the injera basket, and this is a dish that comes with injera bread. It then has lots of different little stews for you to try. This is a totally plant-based dish, and again packed full of vegetables. None of the stews that I had were spicy, but the flavours and the mix of different spices that were used were literally amazing. It was also a very, very big portion, so I didn't get to finish it all, but the food was really, really great. If you do love African food, or maybe you've never tried it and you're curious, then definitely come to Jiko. It is a really, really beautiful restaurant in a stunning resort, and the food is excellent. At number 7 is Liberty Tree Tavern in Magic Kingdom. Liberty Tree Tavern is famous for serving Thanksgiving style food, and as a foreigner I was so excited to try what an American Thanksgiving style meal would be like. The food at this restaurant is also served family style, so they just bring the food out, put it on the table, and then you would all help yourselves. I ordered the plant-based version of the meal here, where you got 3 courses included, which were a salad, a meatloaf made with impossible meat, and then a warm apple cake dessert. I have to say the salad here was very basic. Having been to restaurants such as Sebastian's where the salads were elevated and they were next level, it was really disappointing to have something that was just so bog standard and not particularly appetizing. So my salad has arrived, and you get the vinegar and the olive oil on the side, so you can mix it yourself. For a traditional salad, you've got some green leaves, you've got some cucumber, radish, tomato. So it looks, and it's actually a massive portion. So everything is super fresh, which is really nice, but it's just a basic salad, so it is what it is. So there was nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't very inspired. It was just very boring, very basic. The main course, however, was fantastic. I got a impossible meatloaf, which was actually 2 big portions of impossible meat covered in a mushroom gravy, and then you also got traditional trimmings like mashed potato and green beans. Wow, it is a massive portion, but it looks really, really good. Yeah, that's really nice. This is going to be a good meal. The impossible meatloaf was so amazing. It was really, really good flavour. It has a very meaty taste. So if you are looking for a great meat alternative, this is a really good option. The garlic green beans are really good too. They're cooked really nicely and the garlic is perfect. And you get some nice mashed potato. It's a really good hearty meal. So I'll be nice and ready for the party, all fueled up, ready to go. The gravy was really nice. I like that you actually had big bits of mushroom in it itself. The potatoes tasted great, and they still had a bit of skin on, so they were kind of more rustic mashed potatoes, which I really enjoyed. And the green beans were super, super flavourful too. This is a really, really big portion, so if you are looking for a meal to fill up, I would definitely recommend coming here. One of the great things about here is it's all you care to enjoy, so you can order more of the things you like, but also your drinks are included, like soft drinks, tea, coffee, things like that. And it's so hot right now, I'm gonna have about 15 drinks. It is boiling. You will not leave hungry because you can just order as much as you like, which is fantastic. I couldn't even finish the first portion, let alone order more. But you can if you'd like to. The dessert was a warm apple cake, and it was so, so nice. I'm not a particular fan of warm fruits, so I was a bit like, oh, what's this going to be like? But it was really, really good. The flavour was amazing. I could have ate more of it. It was so good. Even though I'm not a big fan of cooked apples, this was really great. It kind of changed my mind on the cooked apple situation. I completely forgot it was a 3-course meal, and I was like, oh no, there's no more dessert. So for dessert you get a warm apple cake with like a vegan whip on top. It smells really, really good, so let's try it. That's really nice. It's got like a hint of cinnamon as well, and it's like the perfect kind of like fall dessert. So could not be better at this time of year. If you are looking for hearty and filling foods and you're looking for something that's kind of traditionally American, I would definitely recommend coming to Liberty Tree Tavern because you're going to find it there. And the price is really good for the fact that you get 3 courses and you can order more of the stuff you enjoy. So you're getting a lot of food for a set price. My number 8 pick is maybe a surprising one, but it's Ohana. This is a restaurant that gets super rave reviews and it's very hard to get a reservation to eat here. And although I did enjoy my meal, it wasn't my favourite meal that I had at Disney World. Ohana is also a family style meal, so make sure you come here hungry because you are going to be eating a massive feast. To start with here, you get a salad, and again, just like Sebastian's, it was unbelievable. I could have just happily eaten the salad on its own. It was so delicious. Again, the dressing is what is the best thing about it. It is so amazing. So don't skip over the salad. It can be tempting to want to save space for all of the other foods, but make sure you at least get a little bit because the salad is unbelievable. The citrus vinaigrette on this salad is insanely good. This is so tasty. This is definitely the best salad I've had since I've been here. That vinaigrette, I could eat this all day long. It's so tasty, guys. I can't even get it across to you how amazing it is. It is one of these restaurants where, again, I ordered the plant-based option and then they were going to give me honey butter and I was like, oh no, I'm vegan. And they were like, oh, you're vegan? I'm like, yeah, vegan. So if you are vegan and you are coming to a restaurant like this, do make sure you specify you're vegan, no dairy, no honey, so they know, because I think sometimes people mix and match. Maybe they're vegetarian, they'll have some things and not others. So if you are vegan, make sure you specify vegan, no dairy, no honey, anything like that. One of the reasons Ohana is a little bit further down my list is I didn't get the full Ohana experience because some of the elements of this meal were missing when I visited. One of the dishes you are meant to get is a hummus with house-made chips, and I wasn't presented that whilst I was there. I don't know if it's just they'd run out, but I didn't get the full Ohana experience because that is one of the courses and that was completely missing during my meal. For the main dish, you get a skillet of the famous Ohana noodles, barbecued jackfruit, a sausage and chimichurri chicken. Or you're meant to. When I visited, there was no chimichurri chicken, so again it was just another missing element of the dish. The sausage you get is the plant-based sausage you will be served everywhere at Disney World, and it's really delicious. Even though I'd had it a lot, I was not bored of it. It's so flavourful, so I was happy to have it again at Ohana. Let's try the jackfruit.
Yeah, but they're better for the environment.
That's almost like pulled pork in texture. The barbecue jackfruit for me wasn't my favourite just because I'm not a massive fan of barbecue, so the dressing was quite a lot for me, so I wasn't super keen on that. But if you do love barbecue, I think you would really enjoy this. Next up, I'm going to try the noodles, and Ohana are famous for their noodles. When this restaurant actually reopened, they'd just taken the noodles off the menu and so many people complained they had to immediately bring them back. So they've almost got a little touch of sweetness to them. And now for probably the most controversial thing I would say during this video. I didn't think the Ohana noodles were that good. I was so excited to try them because everyone raves about them being super delicious, and I thought they were okay. They were nice, I enjoyed them, but they were definitely not the best noodles I'd ever had, and I was really expecting them to be super incredible because of how much people talk about them, but I thought they were just nice. The dessert here is a vegan donut. I, once again, was super full, so couldn't actually eat it, and my server very kindly put me 2 donuts in a takeaway box so I could have them later on in the day, or what I did, had them for breakfast the next morning. I completely forgot again that you get a dessert. And I'm like, there is 0% chance I can have any dessert because I'm going to burst. It is literally a Mr. Creosote wafer thin mint situation. If I have one bite, that'll be it for me. They are super delicious. They kind of had a bit of a cinnamon taste. I couldn't get over them. The texture was really good. It was more like a cakey style donut, which I really like. So it's amazing. And if you actually have it in Ohana itself, you also get some vegan ice cream. I did find the dinner at Ohana fine, but it's not one I would rush back to get. I'd heard so many good reviews, so I was really hyped up and excited to go here, but I didn't think that the food lived up to the hype. That being said, I did actually have breakfast at Ohana one day of my trip, and that was literally amazing. I would definitely come back to Ohana for breakfast, but for dinner, it's one that I could leave for a few trips before wanting to return to. Something I really did love about Ohana though is the beautiful setting. It's a really gorgeous restaurant in a stunning resort, and it also has incredible views where you can see out over Seven Seas Lagoon, Magic Kingdom. If you're there at the right time, you'll see the fireworks. So that is a really beautiful restaurant. When I first arrived, my host was really friendly, and then they've just come over and given me one of their lays, which is so exciting. I was like, I feel proper, like I'm having a full Ohana experience. We have an ukulele player. It's so nice in here, and the staff are so friendly. Everyone's so nice. They could not do more for you. Coming in at number 9 is Cinderella's Royal Table in Magic Kingdom. The thing that is so special about Cinderella's Royal Table is it is inside the castle. The experience of dining inside the castle itself is so special, so I was really excited to try it. This is typically a character dining meal, but when I visited, they didn't have any princesses. Instead, you met Cinderella as you entered, so it was really nice to actually get to talk to her and have a photograph with her. So you did still have a princess moment, even though you didn't have it in the dining room itself. Something else I've really liked is when I've gone to character dining experiences, they typically give you an autograph card. So I have a little autograph of Cinderella here, and then they have a picture of a mosaic, and actually when you go downstairs, when you walk through the castle, they do have these mosaics on the wall. I think it's just a really nice little token. I was super lucky that I had a table by the window and I could look out over Fantasyland, and I loved that. But even just sitting here, look at the setting. It's really like being inside a royal castle, and just to be inside the actual Cinderella castle in Disney World is amazing. And I also happened to be inside the restaurant whilst there was a show happening in front of the castle, so to be inside the castle when the fireworks were going off on the outside of the castle was really cool too. Oh, that banging is fireworks going off. You can hear the fireworks. Very exciting. I can't believe we're inside when there's fireworks going off on the castle. The starter here was a castle salad. For such a fancy restaurant, the salad was a bit of a letdown because, again, it was fine, but it was nothing outstanding. Yeah, it's super interesting because it's a really nicely chopped salad, and it's nice because the lettuce is really thinly chopped, so it's very easy to eat. There's also some strawberries, and it's either orange or grapefruit as well. It's so interesting when you visit America because it's quite common to have fruit in salads, whereas in the UK that's not something we really do. And it's kind of interesting to try that because I haven't had that so far this trip. Yeah, I don't know if I'm a fan of having fruit in salad. So it was a fine salad, but it was nothing to write home about, unlike Ohana and Sebastian's, which were incredible. The main was a chickpea panisse. I had never had a dish like this before, so I was super excited to try it. The chickpeas are kind of in a block, very tasty. It also came with a range of different vegetables and a dressing, and I very much enjoyed this dish. I didn't know what to expect, but I was very pleasantly surprised. So I'm not really sure what a panisse is, but it looks amazing. The presentation is incredible. That's so interesting. It's like they're in little cubes, but they're very soft when you eat them. Really good. It also turns out the potato is not a potato, it's either a parsnip or a carrot, and I know that those things are very different. I can't tell which because they're the colour of a parsnip, but they kind of taste like a carrot. I also had whole chickpeas that had like a herby dressing on them, very good. So yeah, I really like this main course, and it's one of those things that if you were looking for options that don't have faux meat, it's really nice that here you have that, and there are quite a lot of places at Disney World that do that, which is nice. So I've had a nice mix of both, and yeah, I very much enjoyed this. It was really good, and the tomato, like that, you get like a tomato, it's not like a sauce per se, it's a bit thicker than that, and that had a little bit of spice to it, which was really nice. The dessert was coffee pots de creme. This was a coffee flavoured mousse, and then in the bottom it had a passion fruit kind of like gel. I love that this dessert is coffee pot de creme, and they put it in a coffee cup and it really looks like a coffee. That's good. That's really good. If you like coffee, this is amazing. It's kind of mousse glossy in texture, but a bit firmer. It's like a really nice coffee taste. It's not like bitter or anything. It's really, really good. And actually it's quite light. I was worried like with the dessert it could be quite heavy, but no, it's nice and light. Yeah, down the bottom there's like a passion fruit. I don't know if it's just liquid or if it is a gel, but it works really, really well. So the dessert I really, really enjoyed. It was light. I never knew coffee and passion fruit would go together, but it goes together so, so well. And it was like a really nice type of coffee, very creamy. It wasn't bitter. So, so good. This was a really, really excellent dessert. It's probably one of my favourites I had at Disney World. It was light, but it also had great flavour, and it was just something I'd never had before. The reason this is slightly lower on the list is because it is the most expensive meal you can have at Magic Kingdom, and some of the dishes like the salad just didn't live up to the price tag. But of course, what you're really paying for is the experience of dining inside the castle, and I loved that very much. It's a really beautiful restaurant inside. I also loved that you got given a little wand when you left, so I felt very, very special, and it's definitely worth it to have that once in a lifetime moment of being inside Cinderella Castle dining. And last on my list at number 10 is Steakhouse 71 at the Contemporary Resort. This is a restaurant that I'd heard rave reviews about, so I was super excited to get a reservation to dine here. To start with, I ordered the onion ring dish. I was very excited, heard really, really great things. They are super, super crunchy on the outside, and the onion is super nice and soft. I did like that it was a really crispy batter. It was very nice. The onions were soft inside. The sauce it came with didn't really have much flavour though. It was supposed to be spicy, but there was no spice at all, and it just kind of didn't have a lot of flavour in general. The main was a vegetable Wellington. I was so excited for this because it's quite a different dish than you would get on other menus, and I do love a Wellington, so very excited to try this, and it was just okay. The presentation is amazing. Is really nice and golden. The filling is really fantastic, and they've also got some Brussels sprouts, some tomatoes. It just looks like a really nice dish. Even though it is a vegetable Wellington, the overwhelming taste is mostly of mushrooms. Now I love mushrooms, so that's not a problem, but if you don't like mushrooms, I don't think you would like this dish. It also came with a variety of vegetables on the plate. Unfortunately for me, a lot of them were kind of undercooked, so they were quite hard, so I didn't eat all of them because it wasn't a case of them being al dente, it was just they were literally undercooked and not very appetizing. I have to say it's probably the least favourite thing I've had so far. It was very rich, and I'm not a fan of super rich foods. The Wellington itself has a lot of mushrooms, and I love mushrooms. I would say if you are not a fan, then you're probably not going to enjoy this. The Brussels sprouts, some of them were a bit too hard. They were undercooked for my liking, so I left some of them. There were some really nice soft onions. There were some tomatoes that were cut in half, which is a bit random because they were cold and everything else was warm. So I don't know, it was a mixed mash dish. I wouldn't get this again, and I would say this is probably my least favourite meal so far. You know, I can't really say it's not terrible, but I've been spoilt with great food so far. After hearing such rave reviews about Steakhouse 71, I was a little bit disappointed. The food just didn't live up to the hype, and the food was fine, but it's not a restaurant I would be in a rush to go back to. Something that is great about Steakhouse 71 is the Contemporary Resort. It's just a 5-minute walk or 1 monorail stop away from Magic Kingdom. I did actually have a breakfast at this restaurant, and I really, really enjoyed that. I would absolutely come back for the breakfast, but I'd probably skip over the dinner. So those are my rankings for the table service restaurants I ate in at Disney World. I hope this has given you a good idea of where you might like to dine in whilst at Disney. What I would say is reservations for table service restaurants at Disney World do fill up very, very quickly, so you definitely need to try and get them on the 60-day mark when the reservations open up if you can. I have done a video all about how to book your reservations and top tips to score the hard to get ones, so I'll also link to that video in the description down below and up here too. As I've mentioned, I've also ranked the quick service restaurants that I dined in, and I will put a link to that on the end screen, so make sure you click that at the end of this video, and I will also put a link in the description down below of my ranking for the breakfast, buffets and character dining meals I had too. I hope these rankings can help you decide which restaurants you might want to dine in when you visit Disney World, and if you'd like to see more planning videos so you can plan your ultimate trip to Disney, then make sure you click the playlist that will also be on the end screen coming up next. But until next time, I hope you have a most magical day. Bye bye.